can't be selfish, because I seen you at the All-Star game before and you wanted to score and not pass the ball.
No.
This guy said, did she really say you can't be selfish when she takes 30 shots and misses 27 of them instead of passing to her teammates? And this guy puts all the face palms. Good at basketball, so she has to show some skin to stay relevant. A lot of people called her out over wearing heels.
With Angel Reese, creating headlines for the wrong reasons, motives, and her recent stunt at the Super Bowl was no exception. She elevated herself to the forefront of attention and received criticism instead of praise. It was supposed to be a moment for her to shine, but instead it just proved everything people have been speaking about her for a long time, while other sportsmen were focused in preparation for the season. She was occupied playing the celebrity's role, and the worst aspect, even her own fans couldn't do that. Defend her this time, Reese has built a reputation for herself, but not necessarily for the right reasons. She'd been criticized for being a ball. Ignoring simple shots and praising her numbers, rebounding from her own missed layups, but she still had the gall to be critical of a player who fails to pass. The ball could not tolerate the hypocrisy. Ignore those who were quick to criticize her. Noting that she herself is well known for making poor decisions rather than making the appropriate plays were like watching living in a place where people throw stones. According to the Glass House, the Super Bowl was to be about football, but somehow Reese figured out how to make it about her. Arrived dressed to catch notice, and she got exactly what she wanted, just not as she had hoped. As opposed to being lauded, she was roasted online. Many pointed out that while she was busy clutching clout, while other players concentrated on improving their game.
Undeniable, with her name spreading like wildfire throughout the entire basketball universe.
Caitlyn Clark. Caitlyn Clark. Caitlyn Clark. Caitlyn Clark.
Caitlyn Clark all night tonight.
Are you talking about my high school experience? Clark, cut it!
One name kept coming up in contrary to Caitlyn Clark. Ree doesn't need to seek out the spotlight. She lets her performance on Reese was speaking. And the court was creating headlines for the wrong reasons. Reasons Clark was working out at. The gym she missed the Super Bowl because of her game. Totally opting to train and get ready for the forthcoming season this year. Wasn't shocking to those who have observed Clark's career and has consistently been about the labor rather than the drama. Clark's effect is evident in the data. Without a doubt, the sport is her jersey. The retirement ceremony by itself brought in 1.1 more viewers than a real game by millions. The difference is that Reese is featured. Neither of the two players. Clark even need to walk on the court in order to sketch enormous attention, but Reese's games have trouble drawing even 100,000 viewers. The contrast could not be seen by viewers. More obviously, one player is about greatness, and the other is about attention. Reese's struggles on the court are well documented. She has a habit of taking bad missing layups and depending on second chance points to pad her stats. She may put up double-doubles, but when most of those rebounds come from her own missed shots, it's not exactly impressive. The reality is when she's on the bench, her team often plays better, the offense flows more. Smoothly, the defense tightens up, and it feels like real all of a sudden. Basketball is being played.
Indiana Fever rookie sensation, Caitlyn Clark. There's nothing really to say other than that. She's winning Rookie of the Year. She's a top candidate for league MVP, honest. She ain't beating Asia Wilson for the MVP, but she's beating Angel Reese for the Rookie of the Year. That's a wrap. That's old.
This is a painful truth that Reese and her fans don't want to admit. If she were as great as she claims, her absence will hurt the team. Not improve it, but game after game, the evidence keeps piling up when she's off the floor. Her teammates get better. Looks the ball moves more freely, and the team actually plays like a cohesive unit. That's hardly a coincidence. And yet despite all of this, Reese still acts as she's on top of the basketball world she makes. Bold claims, calls out other players, and tries to dominate the conversation. But the reality is, her influence is fading. People are seeing. Through the ACT, they're realizing that beyond the social media drama and the flashy appearance, there isn't much substance. Reese's time in the unrivaled league was designed to prove that individuals watch basketball for her too, but the without. Caitlyn Clark's women's rights, reality basketball struggles to draw huge audiences, the numbers make that painfully clear. Clark's games are must-watch events. Reese's game's not so much.
Don't no real one shoot no hoop. They learn home economics. All the ladies been more that can be played. Yeah, so she been sales to get you all in fame.
At this point, Reese is at a crossroads. She can either double down on the clout chasing and continue being a social media personality first and a basketball player in second place, or she could, while working, and attempt to alter the narrative. Because right now, the story, speaking of her, isn't flattering. She's becoming known more for her missed shots and questionable decisions than due to her positive actions on the court.
Good to eat. Good to eat by JC.
A little head fake. Reese, flick of the wrist. Air ball again. No. McCowan takes it away. Still loose.
The ugly truth is that Reese's shortcomings are incomprehensible. Be disregarded. Her shot selection is subpar. Her impact and efficiency are appalling. At best dubious on the game, she may be displaying figures, but they aren't numbers that translate to victory. And as time goes on, more people are beginning to acknowledge that in the meanwhile, Caitlyn Clark continues to separate herself as a genuine representation of women's in basketball. She doesn't require tricks, dispute, or distractions. From the court, she merely performs the game at a high level, and people appreciate her for that's the distinction between a person who is great and someone who is just trying to look fantastic. Reese can continue to act as though she's the star, yet the reality is the game has already passed her. If she wants to alter that, she's going to have to take much more action than simply attending prominent events that she will host to demonstrate that she truly belongs at the top, since the current numbers her own fans, as well as the performances, are saying otherwise.
Bonner gets denied by Boston. Wheeler finds Clark from
Clark. Caitlyn dominated the women's basketball scene in a way that few athletes ever have. Her popularity is rapidly increasing, and the numbers prove it.
Singing up, sticking with that zone right there in rotation.
Oh, that is just filthy from Juju.
I thought she had Marshall downstairs. She had a front post up.
Juju rattled it out.
When USC and Iowa played in February 3rd, it became the second most watched game in NCAA history. That alone suggests a lot about how much she is loved by others. Just by attending a game, she brings in millions of viewers.
20 years, he thrilled us. He made us scratch our head. What did we just see? What did we just witness? And he gave us 5 NBA championships.
The most recent instance of something. The same thing occurred during Kobe Bryant's jersey retirement ceremony in 2017. It was a huge event, but Clark is drawing similar numbers only by walking on the court. She does not have to create controversy or pursue attention. People watch her because she is simply that good. She is setting records, breaking barriers, and making history while keeping entirely concentrated on basketball. She puts in a lot of effort, and it shows. Her Nike commercial went viral without the strength of her even trying is being exceptional at what you do. On the other hand, Angel Reese is struggling to gain interest in the game. She actually creates headlines for things outside basketball, but in terms of performance, she is not providing at the same level. Instead of focusing on improving, she is more eager to attend social media events and complaining about her salary from the WNBA. Caitlyn Clark does not waste time with those distractions. She is constantly improving, and that is why she is the face of women's basketball right now.
Off the court. But today I must call her one of the biggest hypocrites of 2024.
1. A good illustration of this was during the Super Bowl. Angel Reese was making news for her style and social media activity, but Caitlyn Clark was drills were observed while she was working, remaining active in basketball and continuing to motivate young athletes. This is the difference. One player is concentrated on being excellent, whereas the other is centered on becoming seen. Whatever the statistics reinforce this, as Reese has trouble with finishing around the basket, which is 1-1. Of basketball's fundamental abilities, people miss layups all the time, but not like she does. The data show she is one of the worst finishers in the league. Thus, of all the professionals, she is at the bottom, which is a major problem, especially for someone who wants to be regarded as a great player. Caitlyn Clark is setting in the meantime, demonstrates that she is not just among the greatest scorers, yet she's also a total. She plays the game with sophisticated controls and does not miss out on chances, which is what makes her fans so devoted wherever she goes. They follow her games, bring in huge audience, and her influence on, unquestionably, women's basketball is the distinction between these two athletes. is it's about mindset, not simply ability. Clark is all about improving herself. Doesn't waste time griping since she not want attention. She works hard.
And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back and...
Angel Reese, however, appears to be more concerned about being well-known rather than exceptional, rather than working on her areas of weakness. She receives defensive rather than proving her detractors right. She makes excuses for everything. Including Reese's fans are beginning to realize that they backed her because they believed in her potential. But at some point, potential has to turn into results. Right? Now that it's not happening, she grumbles. About receiving a low salary but failing to show that she is worth more. Caitlyn Clark is demonstrating her worth, however. Whenever she enters the court, that is why she is not just famous, she is respected. The ESPN rankings made this even more evident and predictable. Caitlyn Clark is completely dominant. Breaking records in viewership, jersey sales, as well as the game's overall effect name is related with success. Angel Reese barely made it into the top 15 for someone who talks so much about being wonderful. That ranking conveys a different message. Story hype can take you so far. You need the Indiana Fever has established a strong roster surrounding her, they added. According to WNBA champion Natasha Howard, her ability to score and defend also signed Danana Boner, a 64-star who can score whenever she wants. Sophie Cunningham joined the team as well, bringing toughness and a fiery competitive spirit. These players didn't just end up in by coincidence, they desired to be in Indiana. There because they believe in Clark. Meanwhile, things are not looking great for Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky. The team has struggled to attract top free agents. While Reese has talent, she has not yet demonstrated that she can guide a group to her. Admirers frequently defend her success by saying rankings and opinions don't matter, but if she were ranked in the top 5, those same fans would be praising the truth. Clark has gained her respect by delivering on the court, while Reese has increased attention to social media and individual branding.
Clark could be breaking another record, this time with an endorsement deal. The Associated Press says Clark will soon be signing an 8-year, $28 million contract with Nike.
Clark's impact extends beyond basketball. She has become one of the biggest personalities in sports. When she plays, arenas are crowded. When she speaks, people listen. The WNBA recognizes her value, and they are treating her like a rock star from day one. The Fever are not waiting for her to develop over time. They are creating a winning team around her correctly. Now, that speaks volumes about their belief she can perform.
Like, season tickets sold out already. Yeah, like, don't be dumb, WNBA.
Double prices, but
like,
let's be real. That's the Caitlyn Clark effect.
Same thing with Wemby. They put him on TV every day too. Like,
critics contend that Clark is overhyped, but the numbers don't lie. She is setting records, drawing millions of viewers, and making basketball more popular than ever. When a player can impact the game on that level, they deserve the attention. Reese is still attempting to demonstrate her inclusion in the same conversation.
Line looking. Here's Clark. She fires. She hit it!
The truth is, Caitlyn Clark is on a deeper level. She is altering the game and inspiring the next generation Asian. Instead of concentrating on drama, she is focused on winning. That is why she is the face of women's basketball, and that is why her legacy will continue now. Remember to leave a comment before you depart. Write down your opinions about this entire circumstance, as well as while you are down there. Remember to hit the subscribe button. Furthermore,